Alright. Here we go. So, today we're going to go over absolutely everything there is to know about the new war mode. We're going to go through every single rule. I'm going to explain what all those rules do, and then I'm going to show you guys the map and how the map works. Alright, so general things to know. Alliances are automatically matched with another alliance multiple times a week, so that's 3 times a week for a 24-hour war. I'll go more into that in a moment. You use energy to battle defensive squads and score points. It's exactly like raids. You have energy and you can use it to attack X number of times. You can refresh them, all the pay-to-win stuff you can use. I think it's very specific course to this mode, just like how Blitz and raids have their own regen systems. This will also have its own regen system. There's no character limit on attacking. You can use anywhere between 1 to 5 characters per attack. You earn points for each defending character defeated. So let's say you're attacking one of the 8 teams of 5 that are in a room. Let's say you defeat one of those 5 people in one team, you will get a point for that. If you complete an entire room, there is a group of points that you will also get. They vary between 50, 100, and 200. There's one room worth 100 and one room worth 200. The alliance with the most points wins. If you destroy all rooms, the helicarrier dies, and if you both destroy each other's helicarrier, it's a tie, and you both get the losing rewards in that situation. Everyone that participates in the war receives the rewards. You have to be in an alliance for at least 5 days. It's pretty normal stuff. There's a leaderboard which gives you the orange ability mats, just like in raids, so every 2 weeks you'll get those. Every time you level up a character, they will affect your attacking team, not your defending team. Alright, so setting up your defense. Every time a war starts, there's going to be, I believe it's 12 or 24 hours where your entire alliance is going to be able to go in and set up all their teams and rooms exactly the way that they want to. You can have 8 teams per squad per room. So how that works is 2 people take a room. Each of you can have 8 teams, and the opposing team is forced to attack the teams in the order that you present them, and they can only see the first 4 that you present. If you don't have enough characters for that, shield minions will be placed for you. Anyone you use on defense, you cannot attack with. So adjacent rooms do not go diagonally, they only go left and right, just to make that very, very clear. Once again, guys, I'm going to be going over all of this on the actual map in a second. This is just so you guys know the basics really quick, and then we'll go into the nitty-gritty of it. Alright, so now on attack. So now, not only do you have no defending characters to attack with, you can only attack once per war with each character. So let's say you attack a team with a Nick Fury shield team, you can no longer use that team for the war. But let's say you only attack a team with crossbones, you can no longer use just crossbones for the rest of the war, and you still have all your other characters to work with. So to get the most out of your teams, you're going to want to try and attack with less than 5 characters. You're going to want to use preferably 2 or 3, and hopefully you can make do with that. There's a lot of minion teams where there's like 6 minions, and you can use 2 teams of 3 minions each. And I'm going to assume that most people don't have a lot of characters, and there's going to be a lot of shield minion weak, like 15k teams that you can attack as well. Alright, cool. So now, to gain access to the rooms above and below, you have to defeat 1 full team of squads, and then if you defeat both players, then you get access to the rooms to the left and the right of that square. Alright, cool. So here's the wartime I was telling you about. So 3 p.m. every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. There is 4 time periods. Your alliance leader can choose between one of those 4 time periods, and every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday there will be a war. That's how that works. Alright, so now we're going to go into the map. Set defense. So, there are 12 sections. Each section does something completely different. Now, you have to go. The only things you have access to at the beginning are the 3 flight decks, and then you have to work your way down. So how this works is, let's say you destroy this middle flight deck. You can have 2 teams in each room. So here I am on one, and then there's the other side over here, unclaimed. And then you can have your 8 teams, and they have to attack them from left to right. So if you start from the left here, I have all my teams weakest to strongest. You could do strongest to weakest. You can do, strong team, a weak team, however it is. This is how you're going to set it up. And then you're going to have your other teammate set up the other side as well. And then just another tip in here, so you can use these pre-made squads to figure out how you want to do this. And this is actually a really clever tip. You can't actually use characters more than once in this row at all. So you can actually set up one team at a time and save them, and then it's a good way to fill out your saved squads. If you haven't had the patience to do it, this will make it a lot easier for you. And then you can organize them in whichever way you want, so that if you ever have to move around or your raids are restructuring, you can just add them into the lineup in the order that you set up in here. Super simple, super easy. And then here's the shield team that you get for free for every single slot. If you, for whatever reason, don't want to set anything for defense, you can do that. Alright, cool. Each room is worth points for clearing the entire room. So here's the 50s and the 200 and the 100 I was telling you guys about. And then the green is how many buffs it will have. And buffs can be many things. It can be global. They can be rooms giving buffs to rooms next to them, and it could be buffs that apply only to a specific room. For example, the bridge can have 4 buffs, but it only gives a buff to the room, which is apply counter, and that only applies to this room. And then you can click this little eye on the right here to see in your current setup how exactly these buffs work and where you're getting them from. Then you got things like the barracks, which give you a global. So that's for every single room on the map. And that's 20% max health, damage, armor, resistance, and focus. And then an extra 10% of all of those to military allies. Alright, so now, to get through these things, I am considered one team and slot 2 is considered another team. So let's say someone knocks me out completely out of flight deck, kills all 8 of my teams. They now have access to what is above and below the flight deck. So at the current moment, that's armory. And if they knock out one team on armory, then they have medbay. Or let's say they go to the left from medbay and they knock out one team on the bridge. Now they have access to engineering and reactor. But now let's say they kill... That's only if they kill 2 teams on medbay. Because as I was saying, so if you kill one team on medbay, you can go up and down. But once they kill both teams on medbay, then they can go to the left to the bridge, kill one team on the bridge, and then go from the bridge to engineering or reactor. And that's how they kind of branch out. So something you're probably going to see a lot is people choosing flight deck 3 or 1 and then going down 2 squares, defeating one team on security, one team on hangar, and then a second team on hangar, moving over to the left into medbay, and then defeating one team on medbay to get into armory and barracks, and then the second team in medbay to get over to the bridge. And that's pretty much one of the main routes of how to get into a defense. So you basically want to either fortify the sides or fortify the center, and with your best guys, however you want to do it. There's a million ways to go about this, but that's how traversing through this map works. And then in terms of adjacent things, there are some bonuses, like this engineering room that has an adjacent. So that means the flight deck, the bridge, and the armory will all get this defense up boost to defending allies. Now the weird catch here is these green circles is how many boosts you can have per room. So if you there is actually 4 globals. I'm not going to go through all the rooms on this screen, but I will show you them all. There's 4 globals total, so as long as all 4 of those globals are still on the board, you're technically maxing out the flight decks and everything on the map just by having them alive, essentially. So adjacents technically are useless, assuming you have your globals alive, and your room's also kind of I mean, your room is chosen for sure no matter what, but then you get 3 globals on top of that. So if we go to the bridge, just by having the globals, you have a bunch of these things, and I don't know what the algorithm is, but it just chooses the best 4 bonuses. And that's how that works. So if you lose a global, then every single room on this map will lose a global. But the flight deck can only have 2, so if you lose a global, one of the other 3 globals will just replace one of those buffs, because it can only have 2 buffs. And now just to quickly go over all the map stuff, I'm not going to go into super detail because it's just a picture. You can just pause and look at it. But this is what all the different rooms look like, how many points they're worth in red, how many buffs they have in green, what they're called, and what the buff is in black. And if it defends allies or buffs attacking allies, it's in blue. And if it disrupts an enemy in any way, then it's in purple. So, yeah. This purple one is disrupt, and it disrupts attacking enemies. I didn't actually tab that down. I meant to. So, yeah. But yeah, the flight decks are absolutely useless. They just sit at the top. They're actually the only thing on the map I believe you cannot move. But the 9 below that you can move. So yeah, move all these around, and the traversal as I explained earlier. If you're just joining and you missed it, just go back and watch it. And then just really quick, we'll go into the leaderboard so I can show you guys that. So just like in raids, there's a season, and then you'll get the T4 ability material based on where you place. And then there is the store. So you get 2 currencies. You get war credits, which you use to buy things from the store, and then you get elite war credits, which you use to buy orbs from the same war store. Winning gives you 500, so winning twice you'll be able to open an orange gear. Super straightforward. Alright, and then in the war prep, I'm not quite sure how this works. I believe, yes, you can spend cores on boosts, and then essentially you can apply deflect to all your teams, and you can boost more energy by buying more energy as well. So that's it. I've gone over all the rules, the store, the leaderboard. Oh, there is this participation tab. This is more for the leaders, just so they can see exactly what everyone on their team is doing. You can filter it by everything you see here. Defense boost, defend victories, damage, attack points. Just to see how everyone's performing. Maybe you move them around. However you want to do it. Anyway, that's everything. I've gone over all the rules, the war times, setting the defense, and all the rewards. So hopefully that makes your life in war easier, and hopefully you guys win a bunch of rewards. See you guys in the next one.